Today we are going to look at this question number 8. The above diagram shows part of the curve. I better get this thing ready. Where is it? Okay, right. This one. Okay, so I am now reading the question here. Question number 8, right? The above diagram shows part of the curve. This is the curve. Okay, part of the curve. Y square equals to 16 minus x and the straight line 2x plus 3y equals to 6. Calculate the area of the shaded region. Now the area of the shaded region is given by this, right? Okay, this is the area of the shaded region, right? So this one, this part, without the green triangle, this part, right? Now this shaded region, you can either find the area between the curve and the x-axis or between the curve and the y-axis. Now, which one you prefer? Now, I give you a hint. You look at the equation of the curve. Now, which one is easier? Integrate with respect to x or integrate with respect to y?
X-axis, I think.
Now, if you integrate with respect to x, that means you have to change this into y equals to something. So you have to take the square root. So it will be square root of 16 minus x. So it's quite difficult to uh, integrate the square root, right? On the other hand, if you change it, x, the formula, the equation of the line, x equals to 16 minus y square. It will be like this. Very easy to integrate. Okay, so it is better to integrate the area from the curve until the y-axis with respect to y. It's easier. Okay, now before we can integrate with respect to y, we must know the limit. So the limit are these points here, right? 0, 4, 0, 2, 0, 0, and 3, 0. Right? So these points is not given in the question. So we have to solve for the points. Okay, now if you want to solve for the point, let's say this point here, 0, 4 here. So you have to find the intersection between the curve and the y-axis. So here is, okay, so this one is the equation of the curve, right? This is the equation of the curve, and x equals to 0 is the y-axis. So when you substitute x equals to 0 into the equation of the curve, x equals to 0 here, then you have y equals to plus or minus 4. Now why there are 2 points? Because one point is, let's say, one point is here, this one, right? This point here, 0, 4. And another point is at the bottom. So we are only interested in the point at the top here, 0, 4. At the top, 0, 4. So the 0, negative 4, we are not interested because it is not within the shaded region. Okay, so we have this point 0, 4. So the 0, negative 4 you just ignore, right? Okay, next we also solve for the points here. This point here 0, 2 and 3, 0. How to solve for these 2 points? You use the equation of the straight line. So where is the equation of the straight line? This is the equation of the straight line. 2x minus 3y equals to 6. This is the equation of the straight line. So when you put x equals to 0, you have y equals to 2. So you have 1.02 here. This is the point. Then you put y equals to 0, you have x equals to 3. So this is the other point we have found. So far, we have not integrate anything yet. We are not going to find the area yet. We want to find the points of intersection, the vertices of the shaded region. So all the bucu-bucu, all we try to find out first. So this is important because without the bucu, all the vertices and we cannot find the limit, right? Where from integrate from where to where, we don't know. Okay, so next. After finding this point, you look at the shaded area. The shaded area is this pink red line, red dotted line here. This is the shaded area. Now, this shaded area is what we want to find. And it excludes the green triangle. Now, if you look at this part, okay, if you look at the question here, right, the question here, the shaded part is actually between the curve and the axis, but you exclude a triangle then because there's a white triangle that is not shaded. So over here, my white triangle, I turn it into green color, right? I shade it green color. Okay, so how to find the area of this shaded part? We use the area under the curve. This is the whole thing, area under the curve, minus the area of the triangle. Then you will get the area of the shaded part. Any questions so far? Can follow or not? So every time ask Li Ying. Okay, Jia Yan, can follow or not? Okay, Jia Yan say can follow. Okay, so next one. Now we use the area under the curve. As I have told you earlier, the area under the curve we can find using two ways: between the curve and the x-axis, or between the curve and the y-axis. Both can be used, but it is easier to use between the curve and the y-axis. So how is it like? Between the curve and the y-axis, you have to integrate x dy, okay? Then you subtract the area of the triangle, you find using half base times height. This one, half base times height, is easier to find. Now in your textbook, they say you have to integrate this line. Okay, you want to integrate this line, it is more difficult. You use the area of a triangle, use half base times height is easier. But sometimes you may need to integrate the second line. I will show you in the last example afterwards. Okay, so now, okay, now this thing here, right? X dy. X dy means between the curve and the y-axis. Okay, then the limit, the upper and lower limit comes from the y-axis. So we look along the y-axis. You want to integrate from 2 to 4 or 0 to 4. Which one will give you the area under the curve, between the curve and the y-axis? Which one? What are the limits? This is the area here, from here until the very top here. So the limit must be from 0 to 4. So the limit is from 0 to 4, right?
Okay.
But the limit from 0 to 4 also includes this triangle, the green triangle. So I have to subtract the green triangle. Okay, so when you want to, where is it? Okay, when you want to integrate x dy, there are different variables. you cannot integrate x with respect to y. So you have to change this x to a function of y. So it is easily available here. Okay, from the equation, you make x the subject of the formula, right? You move the x over the other side, move the y square over this side. So we have this area of the area between the curve and the y-axis. Now the next one is the area of the triangle. You see the height of the triangle is 2. The height of triangle here is 2. And the base of this green triangle is 3. Base is 3. So it's half 2 times 3. If you want to integrate this line, what is the equation of this line? 2x plus 3y equals to 6. It's quite difficult to integrate. So I don't suggest that you go and integrate this line. You just use the area of the triangle. Okay. So far, any question? Li Ying?
No, teacher.
No.
No.
Li Ying can understand. Okay, then we go on to the next step. Right? Next step. Okay, the next step, when you integrate 16, you get 16y. When you integrate y cubed, you have integrate y square, you have y cubed over 3. So this is the integration. Over here, half times 2 times 3, your answer is 3. Last one, substitute the numbers inside. Substitute 4 inside. 4 times 16 is how much? 4 times 16 is 64. Then you substitute 4 inside. 4 to the power of 3 is also 64. So 64 over 3. Then you substitute 0 inside. So everything will become 0. No need to write. Okay, no need to write. Then later on, you minus the 3, which comes from the area of the triangle. Then the rest you can use calculator and calculate.